This is Dolynny TV, ladies and gentlemen. This time, 2 days from now, we'll be getting ready for the first Battle of Alberta regular season game. Oh yeah, since you know when, and it'll be a great dandy time to once again enjoy what we'll get to see not only 4 or 5 times this year, but 10 times this season. So with that, if you want to stay up to date with everything that's going to go into this Battle of Alberta on Saturday at 8 p.m., make sure to consider hitting that subscribe button over the next 10 minutes. If you're returning to the channel, consider leaving a like as well, and let's get this one going, because this is the discussion that I think we all have to have with ourselves to get prepared for what's going to be a very good hockey game on Saturday, a very important hockey team or hockey game for both teams, pardon me. So what am I talking about? Tkachuk versus Kassian. I don't think that comes with anything. You want to talk about Zack Kassian's potentially best game of the season through 13 games, it's going to be Saturday night against Calgary. It's going to have to be Saturday night versus Calgary. If Zack Kassian doesn't show up Saturday, we're going to have ourselves some major problems, right? The Flames, they aren't afraid to play that bully mentality style game that the Montreal Canadiens beat us, our only series loss of the season so far in that 2 games, game 3 and 4, to start our season. So we have to have everybody, not just Zack Kassian, engaged in the battle, but the biggest leader in the physical battle is going to have to be Zack Kassian, simply because you aren't going to win without him physically engaged on Saturday night. That just mathematically, according to everything we've seen since 2019, it just does not make sense as to how the Flames and Oilers can come away with a big Oilers victory or just a regular old Oilers victory without Zack Kassian coming in and playing stupid mad, smart mad, stupid mad, right? Like high level of madness, but also smartly, not taking dumb penalties, but just leading the team kind of physically, emotionally, and all that. And the other side, too, is, okay, great, that's what Zack Kassian has to do. And if he does that and the rest of the Oilers engage and get the emotions going, like, this could be the best game to watch that we have watched since about, July 29th, was it? July 30th? Yeah, July 30th or July 29th. When the Oilers and Flames last played in the bubble in Edmonton, and that was a lot better than any game we saw in the play-in round. Yeah, okay, fair. All right, an exhibition game was better than anything we saw in the play-in round. Oh, by the way, Patrick Russell scored a goal in that game. Anyway, we can laugh about that all we want. You know what, we can talk all we want about what the Edmonton Oilers have to do to show up, who has to do what, who has to play like how, and whatever. Rack your question with the 5 W's and the how questions all you want. Go ahead. I'll give you 5-10 minutes here if you need it. But honestly, you don't need it, because here's what's going to happen with the Oilers on Saturday. Is Matthew Tkachuk, you saw it with Brady, he was getting Zack Kassian primed in the Ottawa series, is Matthew Tkachuk is going to come up against Zack Kassian and just look to create chaos, right? Go back to that, was it the January 11th game? I don't know, it all blends together at this point after that's over a year ago now. But right, you go back to that game at the Saddle Dome. Matthew Tkachuk did absolutely everything he could possibly do to make Zack Kassian make a fool of himself. Now, problem is, everybody makes a fool of themselves at the Saddle Dome. There's about 19,000 people there every Battle of Alberta that makes them a fool of themselves. But, okay, Zack Kassian, he was the leader of that group that night and really cost the Oilers what could have been, end of the day, a very pivotal 2 points that would have seen us take that 4 spot and get us into the round robin and then the first round of the playoffs in that Stanley Cup bubble, right? Everybody talks about that game against Winnipeg being so pivotal and, oh, that's what cost the Oilers. Sorry, right? A game like that one against Calgary where Zack Kassian took the penalties and Calgary scored on the power plays, that is just as pivotal as that Winnipeg game. So now, if you're Matthew Tkachuk, you're going to know exactly what to do, right? Is the Flames, They know how to beat the Oilers on the penalty kill, so go out there and draw some penalties and make Zack Kassian act stupid, right? Take a 5, take a 2, whatever it takes to more or less get him out of the game and cost the Oilers as much time down a man as you possibly can. That is the Matthew Tkachuk game plan. I don't even think in the next 2 days that Matthew Tkachuk will have a thought about shooting a puck against Mikko Koskinen on Saturday. I don't think he will even think about playing offensive hockey in that game. I think it will be simply, what can I do to create the most chaos possible? And that's Matthew Tkachuk's role. Now, am I very upset with that is the fact of that's literally what he thrives to do? Absolutely. I'm an Oilers fan. No doubt I'm upset about that. But here's the thing, right, is now we know better. We know better. And if you're Zack Kassian, you know better as well. So you got to go out there and you know what that goof's going to do, right? You know what that clown, that 5-letter word that I can't repeat that Zack Kassian said post-game after that game, you know what he's going to do. You know what Matthew Tkachuk's going to do. So you got to go out there and you got to play smart. Now, the big thing is, though, despite that, if you have Matthew Tkachuk running around unchecked, you're going to have yourself some mighty big issues. And here's the thing, right, is obviously build this up 10 games. This one could be pretty light compared to game 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. In terms of intensity and craziness, or it could just be a complete gong show like that game against Calgary on February 1st, where we had to finish the second period with time on the clock and finish the second period and the third period and then start. I'm sorry. That was the most wild live stream we have ever had streaming the Oilers on Dolynny TV. Let me tell you, I was very baffled by everything that was going on. The numbers went stupid crazy, and of course that post-game is the best Dolynny TV post-game I have ever had. So, am I looking forward to more of that on Saturday? Absolutely. Little baby kitty, quit meowing. But problem is, right, you could also be very highly let down. I'm building this up to be an absolute gong show is essentially my mentality going in, but as Oilers fans, we are used to being let down, so don't put that outside of your brain that there is a possibility to be let down on Saturday night because we've built this all up to be so fantastic, and then it might not turn out to be anything of substance because it's game 1 of 10 and you can't afford suspensions in a 56-game season, if you get where I'm going with that. So, yeah, okay, you get it, right? The Oilers, no matter what happens, whether it be a boring game, whether it be a passionate game, whether it be a game where nothing even makes sense because everything's ridiculous, you have to play smart, right? And if you're going to drop the gloves against Matthew Tkachuk, if you're Zack Kassian, you have to make sure Tkachuk's dropping his. Don't let him sucker you into a 2. You can't afford that. You cannot against the Calgary Flames, who are right on our heels in the standings. So, right, this is pivotal, especially depending on what Calgary does tonight against Winnipeg. It is probably, maybe, quite likely, I don't know how to build this up any other way, the turning point of the season. We win on Saturday. We're on a 4-game win streak. We're above 500 for the first time all year, and we are rolling. We are officially on kind of a heater, right? 4 games is a heater. I don't care if 2 of them came against Ottawa. What, would you prefer to lose to Ottawa? Give your head a shake, okay? So 4-game heater, you are kidding me if that does not boost the Oilers, especially in a game where Calgary throws every dirty old trick at the wall and it fails against the Oilers and they still get beat. That's what we're looking for on Saturday, right? Smart hockey, extend the win streak to 4. But the problem is, you've got that clown Matthew Tkachuk there on the Calgary Flames side. He's going to give you his best clown tactics to try and get Zack Kassian out of the game, cost the Oilers as many minutes shorthanded as possible, and beat them down as much as possible on the power play, and once things get 5-5, because they're tired. So, what do you expect? I expect fireworks. I expect chaos. But that's what I expect growing up watching the Battle of Alberta, right? I grew up 05-06 hockey, 06-07. There was a lot of disaster hockey back in those days, right? Even dating to the dates of the McIntyre Ivanins, is that it? Ivanins incident? You know which one I'm talking about. And, right, there's a lot of that, but we have not seen as much of that until last year as we had years prior. Obviously, the game has changed, and I understand that. But tomorrow, we go into the last game, or last day before the game, And now, right, we've had a couple days build up, and hopefully that leads to some smart, serious, stupid hockey out of the Edmonton Oilers. And then you get the Calgary Flames, a big old loss in the column, and the Oilers on a 4-game heater. What do I expect out of Matthew Tkachuk and Zack Kassian? Smart, stupid hockey. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Tyson. This is Dolynny TV. Thank you so much for tuning in. I am going to head up on out of here. I botched my ending. The Cats are... Have a good one.